going to go for two here?
He's going for two.
If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Got
it!
One-handed catch as he goes up and catches it.
That's just a heck of a play.
Go for two, go for two here.
Got it! One-handed catch as he goes up and catches it.
Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Go for two here. Got it!
One-handed catch as he goes up and catches it.
Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Okay, welcome in. We're live again. As you can see, just Kalen and I tonight. Chad's off winning himself a national championship or preparing to do so.
Coach Chad doing Coach Chad things.
Yeah, with the London Beefy. We were hoping that he was going to be able to grace us with his presence halfway through the practice, but he's focused right now. They're in training camp, so we'll let him be. Kalen, how you doing today? It's Thursday.
Yeah, man. I'm a couple days out from vacation, so near the end of the week here. Weather's picking up. Oh no, actually it's starting to rain today, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I had a lot of fun watching the Home Run Derby and watching the All-Star game. You just love blowing up my spot.
Me? No, it wasn't me, man. That must have been tech. That must have been tech guy Liam in the background. But
tech guy Liam.
No, it was me. Yeah, the Home Run Derby was awesome. I mean, I think that after that, the two of us were both winners.
Yeah, I mean, I got 4 guys go over 500 plus feet.
Yeah, 4 of them.
Fuck. And what was the final as far as the longest? Was it 520 Soto?
But 520, yeah. So
almost got that 525 I was hoping for. Almost. He just needed a little extra hang time.
Well, he came close. Technically, he now has the record.
Oh, is that he did keep it, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So the Barry Bonds one, I was reading it earlier. I had it written down over there. It's it's estimated. It's not an actual accurate measurement, which I don't even know where it was. I mean, if they're in the water, how can you really tell, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were in San Francisco or what year that actually was, but we will see. But before we get into too much here, let's make sure we go check out CoolBet, because if there's ever a day of the year that CoolBet needs a little bit of extra action, it's probably today, right? There's really nothing going on.
Yeah,
and
the only baseball game that was scheduled just got canceled. So
yeah, I got a little bit on one of their booths that they put up there for the Open. It's
hold on, Hudson's talking to us here.
Okay, I thought Hudson had to be at practice. What's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. He's asking if I'm ghosting him. Hudson, I don't have to ghost you, man. I don't have to do the challenge. I won the bet. If anything, I guess Shane might have to go up head to head. No, that was what you said to me. I think Chad had a really good idea though about you shaving that 500 into your chest. Maybe doing an entire show in your dad bod.
That does sound hot. We might pick up a couple extra viewers. Yeah. I'll do it in a hot tub. I'll shave my chest into a hot tub.
Coming in hot next week. Going for 2 OnlyFans.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe. Whatever they're doing out there. But yeah, man, that was pretty cool. But it was cool to watch all those long home runs. I just assumed that the low hanging fruit was too low. It was in Colorado, allegedly juice balls. I just assumed that something was making you bet towards like over 500 feet for a home run, that I wanted to fade it the other way. But yeah, I mean, the guy that I picked to win and I actually bet on to win, Pete Alonso, he won.
Holy hell, did he ever show up? Didn't even have to try. And his interaction with the fans too, like they were talking about, the announcers were talking about it. He brought them back out of their lull they had there for a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Right. The guy was dialed in, and like shout out to that pitcher. That pitcher was putting it in the exact same spot every time.
Yeah. And who was that? That was the guy he had chosen over his cousin, right? So he knows what he was doing. Obviously, he saw something in practice.
Right, yeah. I don't know how that guy did that, but I will say it was pretty entertaining to watch Alonso when Marcini went up there and hit all those bombs, it was like, oh man, I'm
Yeah.
gonna lose. Chad picked this guy, and he was too much of an asshole to go and put actual money on him. He just picks him on the show. Like that would be the guy that wins, you know. But
Right? Yeah.
but
And what a story, though. That kid is special. Like,
yeah,
to put his name, everybody knows who he is now. And playing for a team like the Orioles, that might not be the case. But he is certainly a household name. He had the MVP of the All-Star game stand up and say, where they have that sign or that I stand with Marcini or whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce his name now. I'm sound like Chad, but that's awesome. Everybody knows who he is. He fought through a lot in the last year. So to see him go up, and I don't even care, second place, he might as well be top of the world, man.
yeah. He put on a hell of a show, and I mean the guy's got a great swing. But listen to some of these distances.
Okay,
So,
hit me.
Juan Soto went 520. We were still in the air at that time, right? I think we were like, oh shit. And then Trevor Story went for 518. Alonso went for 514. And then Josh put a B, but I believe he means Otani, not Obatine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. That guy was kind of a little bit, I don't want to say disappointment because that's not the right thing. That guy was overhyped. He played well. He did what he did, but that thing was way overhyped.
Well, I mean, here's what I will say: what he brought to the home run derby, even if he didn't hit a lot of home runs, every single swing he had a smile on. Every single swing he had some sort of interaction, like with somebody in the sidelines or at his pitcher. It was more of a fluid experience than somebody going up there and trying to win. I don't think Shohei cared if he won. He was just out there to produce whatever he could possibly give to the fans, and you could tell he was gassed after that first round too. Like, how much do you have left? He's carrying the team for the whole season so far, comes to the All-Star or the home run derby, and then has to go up against Soto first round and does what he does, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the end, it looked like he could have used a refreshing toboggan beer.
Yeah.
But that's all reserved for us. Yeah, man, I think that Otani probably had it in his mind that he was going to cakewalk through this thing. And you could kind of see it. Like, after the first few swings, he's just hitting line drives. He starts to smile and like crack jokes. I think at that point he was just trying to save face. I don't think that he was like, wow, I'm just doing this for fun. No.
What? Come on. It's the All-Star game. I think everybody's just there for that.
Yeah, they make money too.
Yeah.
I mean, Otani's not like crazy rich. They paid him like $8 million over the last 3 years.
He is getting paid right now. There's certainly endorsements lining up for that guy right now, this moment.
Well,
and he's going to get paid in 2 years for sure.
Oh, yeah, by whoever, right? Like, whether it's the Angels or, I mean, a team like the Yankees. But, well, yeah. While we're kind of thinking about the Yankees, we're thinking about some trades. I was reading today that your boy, Joey Gallo, is apparently being headhunted right now by the Yankees and the Padres. Like, why would Texas be trading this dude? He's seems young, and he's got a hell of a stroke, and he can play the field. So what the fuck is going on?
I don't get it. It's baseball trades don't happen very often unless they're really at the tail end of their career or there's a significant trade package coming back. And it's usually focused around pitching. Like, that's when you see blockbuster trades is in pitching. When it comes to players, unless they're on the other end of their career, you don't really see them getting traded to another team. So I don't get it. Did he show up at the home run derby? No, but he showed up for his team this year. Hell of a player. And when we're talking about trades too, Chris Bryant, he was out there playing outfield, right? In the All-Star break, the Cubs.
Oh,
talking about the right guy, right? Yeah, they had him mic'd up.
Yeah,
and that was. Can you imagine walking up to him on the sidewalk and immediately talking to him about the 11-game losing streak you dealt with, and then are you going to be there after the trade deadline? I would not have the audacity to do that to a guy like that. And Joe Buck should know better. The way that you only got a few minutes for the soundbite with this guy, why are you bringing up all the negatives at a time like the All-Star game? Well, talk about that after the trade happens, if it happens.
Yeah, he's saying it, but he's saying it for whatever ratings are going on, right? People are not generally interested in the All-Star game, but if it becomes a breaking story that he can get something out of Chris Bryant, then people are going to tune in. People are going to pay more attention.
Well, you know what I was interested in, and they didn't focus on it, and Bryant said it himself as how he was able to keep his head out of the gutter there and during that 11-game losing streak. he's played every friggin' position that he can.
Right.
Like everything, he's in the double digits now, moving around the field. I don't know off the top of my head how old Chris Bryant is, but that's a pretty unique thing. If Shohei is doing, I know that's different pitching to playing outfield, but this is a guy who's moving around the entire field and makes the All-Star game doing it. There's a lot of news I think you could have focused on there. And is he going to get traded? He's a hell of a utility player. He certainly proved that this year doing that, right?
Right. Well, he couldn't play just about anything. I think that he's more comfortable in the infield, and
I would say, yeah.
I would love it if Toronto went and got that guy.
Yeah, and I mean the Cubs where they are, that's a team that I think could be a team that sells, and it's not going to be what we're talking about with Joey Gallo. This is a team that isn't Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have a history of making some trades, and I think that they could certainly make one and get a good package for Chris Bryant. And thank God for letting him, and maybe they did it on purpose, allowed him to shift all over the field, knowing that he could do that. Well, they just haven't done it up until now and said, okay, trade year, go do it, show off, advertise.
Right. Right, exactly. And, a guy that is kind of showing off and advertise, like we kind of skipped over this, but we were talking about the All-Star game. We're still kind of on it, but Vlad Guerrero, I mean,
hey,
that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's the first Blue Jay that I could remember winning the All-Star game MVP.
Dude, All-Star game MVP and signs with Jordan Brand a couple days before that. He's getting recognition, and rightfully so. Jordan Brand doesn't sign slouches, and they don't sign kids with no promise either, right? So I'm excited for Vladdy. He makes me excited for Jays fans. I don't look at Jays fans like I look at the typical Toronto type fan, though. They're pretty cool when you get into it.
Right.
Hey, I got to bring something up, by the way.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, maybe beginning of this, actually maybe a few months ago, I brought up if you were a Jays fan or a Mets fan, and you quickly shot back Jays fan, but I am a Mets fan, which I was confused because I've always known you to be a Mets fan and a Jays fan second. And the other night, I'm talking with Ricky, and we were talking about Alonso and how good Alonso was doing, and I said, yeah, you took him in the bet that night or whatever, and he said, yeah, but he plays for his favorite team. He's showing off. I said, that's what I said, that the Mets were Shane's favorite team. Are you hopping on the wagon because the Jays are looking hot right now with the young studs or what?
Well, if you looked over to the left here of me, there is actually...
you got something hanging. Doesn't mean it's true. Come on.
Yeah, I don't even know why I'm being questioned as a non-Jays fan. Yeah, I definitely have no problem with the Mets, and I even have a Mets shirt because I went to their stadium.
Okay.
But I don't think that at any point in time I was a Mets fan.
I wonder if other high school friends remember you as being a Mets fan too. Maybe it's just because I remember you wore a Mets hat in high school. Did you not?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe everybody just assumed that you were a Mets fan. I always thought you were. And I swear, when we lived with Sean, I thought you would catch some Mets games from time to time on purpose, like not just playing the Jays.
Yeah, no, I've been to the Mets stadium actually to watch the Jays, but I was there wearing a Blue Jay shirt. If anybody is unsure of that, so I'm not 100% sure why I would hide that. I still have a Mets shirt upstairs, but it's from when I went to the stadium. I definitely had a Mets hat in high school, but I can only imagine some of the fucking hats you wore in high school, and if that makes you a fan of that stuff, Kalen.
Oh, stop it. Oh, man. I was one of them beanie kids. Remember that? I had that long hair and wore the beanie all the time.
Yo, we want to question that. Do you remember when you went through your jersey phase and you just got like every fucking player in the league's jersey? Like talk about just making sure you got the front running team going on.
I liked players, man. I liked just the sport and watching certain players. I had 3 Edgerrin James jerseys. Once he left the Colts, I was okay with cheering him on in Arizona.
Yeah, you're a fucking Titans fan, Longhorns fan, and you own a Jerome Bettis Notre Dame jersey. Like, what kind of fucking absurdity is that?
That was mainly just for St. Patrick's Day. And it was Jerome Bettis. I'll tell you right now, one of the main reasons I got that jersey was just to show you I got the jersey. That was really it.
I do like that jersey.
It was during their run. I'm pretty sure if I remember right, I got that jersey during their Super Bowl run a couple weeks before leading up to, or actually it might have been a week after because everybody wore his jersey right? They wore his Notre Dame jersey to that Super Bowl, did they not?
Yep.
Yeah, so that might have been the reason why I saw it and was like, oh, I'm going to get that. And I didn't even tell you about it, I think, until I got it. I think that's what I remember about it.
Yeah. But that's also how you become a front runner, and you just put on whatever jersey you just put on whatever fucking jersey you feel like over there. Kind of like our guy Tom Brady. He you were just telling me as we came on, so why don't you take it away?
Well, so 3 hours ago, some guy tweets out that Brady won the Super Bowl on a partially torn MCL, only to be retweeted and actually corrected by Ian Rappaport. Fully torn MCL. A couple weeks before the Super Bowl, played on it, got surgery, and we just found out now in July, guys. It happened in February.
He
crazy.
played in a golf tournament,
right? Insane. No, it's not an ACL, but he's how old is he? 42.
Yeah,
42 years old.
43.
Torn MCL, playing a position that gets hit, and I mean, he looked mobile to me, if I remember correctly. He didn't look too bad.
I mean, as mobile as ever, right? I mean, he's never really been that guy, but he gets the yards if he has to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the pain you would experience on an MCL. And I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor and know exactly what an MCL does. I know that your ACL is for your cuts, and that's why that takes people out of the game. But I don't know what the MCL supports, so I'm not going to pretend that. But standing on that, regardless, he's 6'4" or whatever, 6 foot, that's a lot of weight on your knee at 42 years old. That's crazy. Right. If I hurt my knee, if I tweak my knee going up the stairs, I'll see you next week. I'm 33 years old.
Now,
and I don't take hits on a daily basis.
Do you think it's weird that this story is just coming out now?
Well, what's crazy is I expect that from a team like New England. But Brady's talked some shit this whole time in the offseason. I would have expected this to come up at some point and been even at that barbershop, talk that he had the other day or the other week, just to be guess what I did? I'm the greatest quarterback. I wanted a torn MCL. That really just solidifies. Winning on an injury like that. Come on.
Yeah,
I know that Chad may not agree, but
yeah, I don't even want to take the side that I'm going to take, but I'm going to take it anyway. But doesn't it kind of feel like that's something that LeBron James would do? He always he'll tell you they won a championship, and then leading into the next season so that he's still your hero, he tore his MCL, or he was playing with 2 broken arms or something. Just feels like something he would do. And man, the way Tom's been talking, obviously he can back it up. The guy's got 7 fucking Super Bowl rings. He can say whatever he wants. But it just seems like there's some kind of diversion. If this is coming out today, there's some kind of a diversion that's going on.
Well, you know what the diversion is? Godwin not getting signed.
Well, there you go.
That's what the diversion. Hey, let's get the news out of that from Tampa, and we'll put this cool little spin on it over here, if anything.
Right. You're missing a news cycle by doing it. Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. And if I was Chris Godwin, I'd be pissed off right now because it probably should be a bigger deal that they haven't paid him. Obviously, the reason they haven't paid him is because they're still paying Evans, and they're who else? OJ Howard. OJ. No, I think OJ Howard has a decent chunk of salary too.
Yeah. Well, in their defense, their defensive line is paid a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they kept all their starters.
Mm-hmm. So, but I think Mike Evans, I might have to look at the contract up, but maybe they're just trying to get through the year, and maybe they have cuttable money on Evans' contract after this year. Who would you take, Godwin or Evans? Who do you find more valuable at this point in their careers?
I would still take Evans.
Would you? Yeah. Okay.
I have no problem with Godwin at all. I actually think he's awesome. I think he's maybe a more complete receiver. But if I knew I needed a catch, I'm just throwing it in the air, and Mike Evans is going to bring it down. Yeah,
he's got some pretty fucking good hands. I would have said that Godwin didn't, but he definitely improved this year. Certainly had better hands. He had a big drop there. They had good playoffs when he had a big drop at the end, right? In the Super Bowl?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So what do we got here? 2023 is really when you're looking at a cuttable Mike Evans, unfortunately. So a couple more years.
Now, as a franchise player right now, like we're not really hearing any drama. So like I'm glad you brought up the Godwin thing because I kind of forgot about it because they haven't really made like a big deal out of it. Now,
Yeah.
are these guys just taking the money because of some of the precedents that like a Juju Smith-Schuster, the way that he signed 1 year? What's his name? T.Y. Hilton did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So are guys not making a bigger fuss about the franchise tag this year because they know that it's better for them to get paid next year because of the salary cap increases?
I just think that this year, outside of Godwin, like who are we looking at that's still on the tag? It's a safety like Marcus May who got
Right.
lowballed and is basically going to walk from New York. We've already seen that or figured that's going to happen now. But then there's a couple of tackles, I believe, like a right tackle that you said got signed today. Actually, right before we got on the show, you said they got
The guy from Carolina. Yeah.
And then who else? But like, I don't find that they're positions that are news positions. They're not a corner. They're not a receiver, running back, quarterback.
Right.
If it's a safety, if it's a linebacker, if it's an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, there's just not a lot of hoopla behind that. And I feel that most of those players aren't the type of position players that create waves in the news either.
Right. Well, the best two guys are probably Godwin and who's the other guy?
Marcus May? Or are we talking offensive again?
No, it was definitely offense.
I don't even know who that other offensive guy is. That's what I was hoping maybe you'd have that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Allen Robinson.
Oh,
That's
that
who it
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What am I saying? But that also kind of like now they're kind of doing him dirty. The guy left Jacksonville to go to Chicago, which is his home team, and he has played okay there for some pretty subpar teams. And to not give him an opportunity to make some coin, he got the money. Do it. What else are you going to do? Chicago needs offense, and if you lose somebody like Allen Robinson, not going to help any.
So yeah, I mean, the same thing for me. If I was Nagy and whoever the GM is in Chicago, I would be looking at it. You really don't know what you got with Justin Fields, but you're pretty sure that you got an awesome quarterback. Hopefully,
the fans are bought and the mania is there. Holy hell.
So if you don't get off to a good start with Robinson in training camp and you don't have a great year with him, maybe he's not the guy you want around long term with Fields without Fields at least giving like a nod. Like, does he get a nod in something like that, even though he's never taken a snap in the NFL before?
I don't even know. I'm going to and I want to defend Allen Robinson. Like you talked earlier about if you need a catch. Allen Robinson has probably some of the best hands in the NFL. He goes up for everything. And he played for some pretty shitty teams in Jacksonville and went up for everything there too. So you take a player like that away, who are you left with there? They have Taylor Gabriel, I think, still, right? And then I don't know who their other receivers even are there. Like Cordero Patterson was there last year, I believe, as a running back. Played a little bit of wideout too.
Yeah, so they had, what's his face? Anthony Miller. But like
the tight end, right? Yeah.
No, Anthony, he's a receiver.
Is he?
Yeah, but
okay.
But yeah, I mean, either way, like there's no household names, and I think that's kind of what you're saying. Like, there's nothing else there for him. Mm-hmm. But if you feel like your team is 2 years, 3 years away, you lock Allen Robinson up. If you feel like your team's still kind of rebuilding, you don't tie up that money into a wide receiver when you're not really sure what the production is going to look like from your quarterback.
Now, I think that if the A-Rod drama was done and he was out of that division, I think that Allen Robinson would have been signed because I think Chicago would have looked at it like their window is now competing against Minnesota only.
Right.
No, that being said, I think the return they would have got for Aaron Rodgers would have been sufficient enough that I think Green Bay would have been okay to still compete against a team like Minnesota or whoever we just talking about the division there. Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, but they have Detroit in that division. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe
the dark horse.
Yeah, there is no chance that they're doing anything. No chance at all. But yeah, I mean, like with Rodgers, at this point, we're pretty safe to say he's coming back, right? Like there is no trade happening. If there was
AJ Hawk hung out with him and said that he's pretty convinced he's coming back. So
yeah, I mean, like the trade. If you're Aaron Rodgers, you're not walking into a brand new team 2 weeks before training camp.
No, and that's what Peyton said too. Peyton said if he had to bet money today that A-Rod's going back, no organization, period, is going to trade away a player like Aaron Rodgers 2 weeks away. And teams that would have put in that draft capital 2 weeks out, taking on a player like Aaron Rodgers, it's just too soon. You don't have enough. Where the season
Right.
starts.
Right. Well, yeah, and whatever's good, the training camp is going to happen, and but yeah.
Now that being said, they were talking about guys who are looking to still get signed. I'm just putting it out there into the universe to hope that he does catch a contract somewhere, and I wouldn't mind if he comes back even after what he said. But Delaney Walker, he's still fighting to hopefully be in the NFL. He's 36 years old, be 37 just after the season starts, and has come out and said that he wants to play for a contender only.
Right.
Surprise, surprise, at 37 years old to say something like that. But he said, I'm sick and tired of fighting to be great for my teams that I play on to be good. So shots at San Francisco and Tennessee, but we had a horrible team. He was one of the only bright spots when he was there. It was pretty much just him and DeMarco Murray until Derrick Henry took over, and unfortunately Delaney went down with the injury. But yeah, I'm putting out in the universe. Hopefully he catches on with a team. He's still, I think, 2 years out from that injury, and I think he's had a lot of time to heal. He was never a speedster, so speed was never the problem, and he's a hell of a blocker, right? So,
right.
He's back home.
Right, exactly. And on that same position, obviously legal troubles are the part that's holding all this back one way or another. But is Deshaun Watson going to play this year?
Man, have you seen the reports about him connected to the Eagles? Not him specifically, but I mean Adam Schefter. Without even the other day, he was on a podcast or a show, and without even being prompted, said Eagles. Eagles is where I could see him having a connection with. And somebody on Reddit, I love Reddit for this stuff, since, the beginning of this whole trade, Deshaun Watson until now, they've added up all of the different articles written and all the different things schemed towards where he could go. And the Eagles are like well favored. And when I'm talking about articles written, I'm talking about real analysis analysts, writing that, not just you and I writing something and then using that as an example. So a lot of the NFL world seems to think that the Eagles is where he could end up. I don't think he's going to be in the AFC in any regard at all. But if it's the NFC, that makes sense. Is he going to play? Last I heard, he was working out deals with these people alleging what he did, and then the next day I heard he wasn't. So, man, we're still in the same boat with him. I just love seeing the Texans burn, man. I don't care how it happens. Sweet seeing it.
Yeah. The Eagles thing is interesting because I could absolutely see it. And do you think that maybe part of them moving on from Carson Wentz was knowing this was coming, and this is just kind of blown up in the Eagles' face? Like, is this possible? Is that at all possible?
So I'm going to put something else into the universe and hoping that it's true. I think that they just realized that Carson Wentz was not what they thought he was, and he's far from that. And he's really taken a step back, and they didn't think there was any recovery there, especially on the contract that he was on. So cut loose right now, and maybe just like Cleveland did Indy dirty with Trent Richardson, hopefully the Eagles did them dirty with this trade with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I don't know. Carson Wentz looks like he's pretty happy there, and I think that GM down there knows what he's doing, and there's
stop it.
There's just like, what is it, Chris Ballard? Yeah, Chris Ballard knows what he's doing. There's no way that he went and got Carson Wentz if he wasn't sold that this is like 2-3 year run towards a Super Bowl.
Well, it's I don't know if it's going to be an upgrade from Phillip, honestly, and that's saying a lot, as Phillip didn't have a very big year, but Phillip brought a lot to the team for sure, as a competitor, as a leader. I don't know what Carson brings to the team as a leader, but I certainly know he competes. No doubt about that.
I could see people liking Carson Wentz. Like, he seems like an all right guy. I mean,
yeah, as long as he passes well.
No, yeah, I don't know. Like, it just seems like his teammates would like him. It seems like he isn't like a scumbag in the locker room.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how the division plays out. I'm not cheering for the Colts. I'm not putting anything good in the universe for them. I already said enough about them positively 2 months ago, and that's all you're getting out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, we're way too close to the season for you to be loving the Colts. So, Now, what about like, and I know you love this guy, Xavier Howard. Like,
Yeah.
is this like this looks like this thing's heating up, and I don't know if it's just been quiet because teams are kind of enjoying their last little bit of freedom until they start training camp or whatever. But I don't know if
Yeah.
several teams are involved. But
Mhm.
where does he go? Why? And if you're Miami, why would you want this guy out of your building?
Yeah, he's on a decent deal, which of course he wants restructured, and that's what's causing all this.
Of
But you've
course.
got the leverage. You've got the years on him right now. Um, on the flip side, you could certainly, hey man, I could send you a team like, and this is, people are not going to say this is a bad team. I don't think they're going to have a good year this year. Seattle, they need secondary, they need defense. Certainly, we send you over to Seattle, and guess what? The leverage that you have, or the opportunity you have here in Miami, where there's a secondary that can kind of help you. You're not the only good player here, or we
Mm.
could send you over there, and the work's going to fall on your shoulders. You and Jamal Adams are going to carry the load. Maybe some players would like that, but at the same time, that's a different scheme. You're walking away from somebody who has utilized you very well with that coach down there to go to a like. I just, the alternatives here when you don't have control where you could be sent, right? You could sit here and talk to your blue in the face with one in a contract restructure,
Right.
but the teams have the leverage. I think we found out a month ago or so there was like 4 years he may have on it left because he just signed an extension
Yeah.
or 3 years, right? You don't have any leverage. Imagine going to a team like the Texans. Shit. You imagine getting sent to the Texans? You get sent a few hours west from Miami, and suddenly you're playing for a team that's going to be lucky if they win a game this year. Miami has a chance to potentially win their division, I think.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
More likely if you ranked it, you'd probably think they're third place in their division.
Who, Miami?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Cam Newton still being the quarterback in New England? Because if that's the case, they are not getting two.
No, I think Mac Brown's going to be the quarterback there. It's going to be a mistake, but he's going to do it anyway.
Oh, shit. So he's
And-
going to lead them to two. Or are you saying he gets a division?
I think that they could probably be the second best team still. Like, look at all the guys they brought in. Belichick has never had back-to-back like losing seasons. He hasn't struggled in a long time. Last year, he just thought he was going to figure it out. This year, he went back in the lab and, like, you know me, it makes me want to barf to talk about New England in a positive way. But they're going to bounce back. They're going to be much better this year than they were last year.
Who was it that
Just
came
in the
out
guys
this
that
week?
opted out, right?
Yeah. Who was it this week that said that New England holds, there was a former player said New England holds the most boring team meetings that they've ever seen.
Oh, Cassius Marsh.
Cassius Marsh, yeah, the wide receiver. That's right. Yeah, I remember that. And then did your boy that just retired this week? I can't remember what his last name is. Chick. He was a linebacker for you.
Yeah, Anthony Chickalo.
Chickalo. Did he ever play in New England too?
I
feel like he might have said something about it too.
Maybe.
But yeah, it seems like a lot of people are coming out the woodwork now that Tom isn't there. People talking shit about New England and the team meetings there, and maybe Keneal Harry's leaking some shit too.
It'd be an easy way out of town, but
yeah,
I don't think that they really care much if he's in town. I think that they just gave up a first round pick and they wouldn't want a conditional 6 back for him this early.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not going to be there when it's actually time to sign a deal, because why would New England pay him, and why would he want to go back for the amount that they're going to pay him?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get anything anywhere, but yeah, for Howard, like, it's pretty wild to think that he could end up in a secondary that could be bad, that has Jamal Adams in it as well.
Well, but Jamal, for all the things that I praised that he would do once he got to Seattle, and he did do them.
Yeah.
He had a lot of missteps too. And that being said, he did have to cover a lot of field, right? He did have to do that. But what I feel when Jamal Adams got to Seattle, I thought that Jamal would do there what we saw Ed Reed do his first year in Baltimore, or not Ed Reed, sorry, Earl Thomas, sorry, his first year in Baltimore. When he was down at the line, he got his first sack in Baltimore. Played all those years in Seattle, got his first sack within 3 or 4 games into the season in Baltimore. I thought that was the type of transition that we were going to see from somebody like Jamal Adams, because he did a lot of that freaky shit in New York. I thought we were going to see a Derwin James-esque. Now, he's not Derwin James. He's a heavy hitter, and he's a hell of an athlete, but Derwin James is a different person as a football player. But I still thought that Jamal would still, float, play that rover, be able to kind of drop back deep. Maybe, Ed Reed was famous for coming up to the line a little bit, playing where the linebackers are, and then just dropping back 25 yards on the drop of a dime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making those reads. So that's what I expected. Maybe he was freelancing a little bit too much. Maybe he was just on a historically bad defense. Maybe that was it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it could be possible. Is there anybody else that's kind of on the, like, you think is on the trade market here, or like, oh, we heard something and never really heard that again? Like, a guy for me that stands out is Vander Esch from the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
I saw like the reported trades, and then gone. So, like, is that guy not healthy, or are the Cowboys just not giving up on him?
I think the Cowboys just have a lot of depth right now with linebacker that they got through the draft. Vander Esch is coming up to a contract year, I believe. And it's time, and they're cutting bait. He's been injured a lot. When he has played, he's been very, very good. But here's your choice. You got Jalen Smith locked up. Do you take Jalen Smith, or do you go on with Leighton Vander Esch, or do you take the rookie linebackers that you took that were studs? Yeah, I think Jalen Smith had a down year last year, and even at a down year, he's an upgrade from Leighton Vander Esch by a wide margin. So that's your answer.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I told you, and I say it again, welcomely. Let's put this in the world. I would love if Vander Esch played for the Steelers.
You play your mic, I'm pretty sure, eh?
Yeah. Well, I think he would enjoy it, and I think that Steelers fans would enjoy him because he looks like he's a bit of a character with the neck roll and all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a very 1980s, early 90s Steeler-esque for sure.
Yeah, I think the fans there would love it. But I told you guys I was working on that articles about the divisions for football. Like, we're gonna put them out as the season gets closer. So as I was thinking about it, I was trying to rank them like by divisions that might not have something happen before the end of training camp, so that we don't have to go back and rewrite it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know, to you, like, what do you think the best division in football is right now?
NFC West, I would have to probably put it at.
Okay.
Yeah,
LA.
The LA as a whole, now that they have Matthew Stafford, I think is a far, far better team than they were last year. And I think they're going to repeat what they looked like when they made the Super Bowl run a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Their defense, nothing's changed there. Very, very good team. Then you've got San Francisco. We've gone over. They've got a defense that can't really be matched by anybody else in the league, I feel. It's very, very good. And then a stable of running backs that can run the type of offense that they want to run, that the Shanahans love to run, right? Seattle being the third team out there for me is only because they have the history, right? So they have a team that knows how to win, or how they have a quarterback that knows how to succeed when the pressure's on. And I think that we are going to see a year out of DK Metcalf that we haven't seen since Calvin Johnson. Mm-hmm. Like, I think he had made a major leap last year, and I think they're going to put a lot more pressure on him this year to succeed. So, and then you've got Arizona, who really upgraded across the board, right? They still have Nuck, and then they picked up JJ. Defense is not a bunch of busts. They got a bunch of ballers on defense too.
Don't forget, like, the Cardinals got AJ Green as well, eh?
Yeah, I know. I just don't know how much I can put into a old, not very fast receiver anymore. Great route runner. Does it make sense in Arizona? Well, does it make sense in Arizona? I don't know. They have a lot of speed there. Why do you go? You can't teach speed. Yeah. I don't know how much field time AJ Green is going to see.
Well, if you're saying that, then you're saying Fitzgerald is done, right? Like Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah. Well, he still hadn't even come out and said if he wants to play. This was like 3 days ago. Said he doesn't know if he still wants to play or not. So I think at this point, buddy, we're 2 weeks out. I know you're not the type of person that typically does the I'll show up 2 weeks or 3 weeks in a training camp and miss all the body beats. Like, that's the type of, he's pretty straight shooter. He's always been. You're gonna get one more year out of me. You're gonna get one more year or whatever it is. So,
well, I mean, to me, I would probably think that Arizona said, look, like, we want you to come back because you're an iconic figure to the organization, but we need to get a couple other pieces in here. So maybe just like go away for a bit, and then if
And go
someone
and
gets
enjoy your
hurt,
NBA final, right? Go and enjoy
yeah,
that.
if someone gets hurt in training camp, then you know you can be the hero that runs in.
Well, speaking of maybe replacing another guy at training camp, did you see Jordan Matthews the other day? Like I'm talking ex-Philly wide receiver, Jordan Matthews. He's
Yeah.
converted to tight end. He's put on 40 pounds, and he attended tight end U. So he's looking for a tryout here. He's still got stone hands. Nothing's going to fix that. But boy, is he a tight end build now, Shane.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
crazy. Yeah. He's a big
Damn.
boy now. So
How long has it
I
been
always like
since
these
he played?
conversions.
How
Well,
long has it been?
he was there like 2.5 or 3 years ago. I think it was like his last meaningful year.
Yeah.
So not
That was-
far out, but he's
No,
not a
I-
kid either.
No, but I mean, like to put on 40 pounds takes that takes some time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
this wasn't like last off season. He just started doing this.
No.
Yeah, no, he's been off, so he's been enjoying himself, and then you know you can just get a little bigger, and then you get cut at the gym, and you know now you're playing tight end.
That's right. So, back to your division thing there. Yeah, so I'm going to stick NFC West because I think is the toughest division. I
Okay.
think that the hardest to win this year, though, is probably going to be the division the Steelers are in.
Yeah, no, I kind of think so too. I mean, it's going to be really, really difficult for Cincinnati, Cleveland, or Baltimore to win that division.
Stop it. I still come back to the fact that teams like Cincinnati, once they get their quarterback back, they're playing against third-ranked teams, and there's just what was it? You've got Baltimore going to be playing against third-ranked teams, right? Because Cleveland came in second last year. Was it Cleveland 2 or was it Ravens 2?
Baltimore was 2.
Shit. So the Browns are playing the 3-ranked teams. I know you don't like me saying that because I bring it up all the time, but that's big, man. Now, did all those 3-ranked? I'd have to look to see if all the 3-ranked teams across the NFL improved. I don't really say that the Cleveland. What was their besides Clowney? Who was their pickup this year?
You don't play all that, right?
You play, yeah. You when you're 3, you play against the 3s. So the idea there is that your top teams still play against your top teams, so that you don't go and walk over the number 4s the next year.
Interesting.
Yeah. So when you're playing interdivision, you play the 3s, and then you play your inter conference, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense then. Okay.
That's why you had teams like the Indy and New England facing each other year over year and having the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady matchups, right?
Right. So that's why we got to play the fucking Chiefs this year. Got it. Yeah.
Tough breaks, eh? You know what,
Yeah.
man? And it's such a fucking shame that I can't go to it because I would love to. But October 24th, the Chiefs play in Tennessee. It's 2 days before my birthday. Damn.
And maybe a little bit too close to baby time.
Yeah, well, we're due the first week of October, and last week I made a half joke when I was with O'Keefe and said, he happens to be off that same week because I booked it off for my birthday, and
really?
and it was like I said I half joke, but like I also half forgot in the moment when I was like, oh shit, you're off when they play the Chiefs, and I'm like, you want to go to the game? And Cindy's across the table, we're having a kid 2 weeks earlier, right? Fat chance you're going to Nashville. I was like, well, I can take him with me.
Yeah.
But man, I look at the tickets, man. The cheapest ticket I can find right now is $2,100. So, but that being said, I mean, they haven't really released all the tickets, and there'll be more right around the time of the game. But you're going to have what's predicted to be the number 1 and number 2 offense in the AFC. So,
I mean, it should be a good game. I told you I'm going to a Titans game this year. So
I'm excited for you.
You
get to see AJ and DK on the same field, man. That is so cool. And Julio.
As long as they survive training camp.
Hey, don't put that mojo out there.
Yo, I've been putting lots of mojo out. I feel like one of them is going to hit at some point.
Yeah. So you're saying the Steelers the toughest division then, yeah?
I think if people are talking about how good Cleveland's going to be and how good Baltimore is going to be, I know how good the Steelers should be. And Cincinnati, you're saying, is only going to get better. that basically means that those are the four top teams in all of football.
Well, shit, man, he got his his college receiver there, and he's got T. Higgins there. Like,
Yeah,
get
and
giddy up.
he's got about 2 seconds before he gets hit too. So
Yeah. Oh man, what a turnstile of an offensive line, eh?
right at that point, you might as well just line up a couple extra guys as receivers, send them all out running patterns, and just let them rush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
like,
wonder they wouldn't work out a deal with Washington for somebody like Brandon Sheriff, who's one of the other franchise players in this list. That's
mhm.
a great guard that probably would love to sign a long term deal. Just going to bite the pillow and take the franchise.
Yeah, like, well, same thing that you were talking about earlier. These guys don't have any control if they sign that or not. Is if you don't sign it, you don't play. You
That's
don't
right.
play. You sit at home eating chips for 2 years, and then you're Le'Veon Bell, and you come back for a year and a half, and you're washed out again.
You know what's weird? You said his name. I hadn't even thought about him in a couple weeks, and he's still a guy who's available too, isn't he?
He is, and yeah, man, I don't imagine him getting signed anywhere. I don't know why any team would want to bring him in after, like, Andy Reid is not the guy to go against in, like, when you're a free agent. You know what I mean?
All
Like,
of all of NFL's going to have their eyes on you. What did you just say?
yeah, like, and I would just expect that he is a pretty well respected guy in and amongst all the other coaches, and like, why are you doing this now? Makes
Mm-hmm.
no sense at all.
Nope.
But yeah, I don't think he's gonna play again. It's a shame for him. It's a shame that he let it get to that point 2 years later. But I meant to ask you earlier. We picked the World Series at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
You want to change yours at all?
What was my pick then? I was a homer, I hope.
Yeah, I would imagine you took the Red Sox versus the Titans in the World Series,
Fuck you.
and somehow they both win.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, it's an obvious pick. I think the Red Sox are playing really, really well this year.
Yeah,
They've
they
really shown some promise. I expect them to make a bit of movement around the trade deadline, based off how they've played and how the Yankees have really begun to falter. So I'm going to be a homer and say it's probably in the Red Sox in the AL. In the NL, I would say that the obvious choice would be San Francisco, but I'm cheering for the Padres.
Yeah, no, I like that Padres one too, and I actually put them into the World Series as well, just because they look like they're having a lot of fun, and I also think that the Sox are going to be in the World Series, but
Hey,
it's gonna
7 different kinds of smoke.
it's gonna be the White Sox, the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Jeez.
Boston is going to get better because they're going to get guys like Chris Sale back and into the rotation, which is absurd that he's not even pitching right now.
Yeah.
So
And I think their number 3 prospect is coming up this weekend to play against the Yankees too. So we're going to get to see what some of their youth is going to show too.
yeah, I mean, don't even be looking forward to that series because I think that one's going to get wiped out. People are just popping all over the place here, and Uncle COVID strikes again.
Yeah.
It's a hot COVID summer. Yeah. So you're thinking Padres. Is there anybody else in the NL that you like,
Well, I mean,
or that kind of like?
the Dodgers still, right? It's an obvious. That whole division is very challenging. You got the top 3, or the 3 teams in that division are all World Series contenders, I think, in the NL.
Right.
Outside of the that division, I could maybe say if the Mets get hot at the right time, they have some of the pitching that could do it.
Hey, I should have took the Mets.
Yeah, but that's a team that I would cheer for as a dark horse fan, I guess. I'm not, and I have to see, is Rowdy Tellez going to be a DH is he DHing in Milwaukee now? Is that the plan with the trade there?
He can't. Milwaukee's in the
Oh
National
yeah, I
League.
know. What am I saying? Yeah, what am I saying? Well, then he'll have more opportunity at first, which means at least he's gonna have more bats. Milwaukee, I mean, great record. Not a very strong division. Make some noise too.
Yeah, that division should be strong too, right? Like, they got the Cardinals in there that have been hurt a little bit, and they had the Cubs that were kind of rolling with them.
Yep.
and they lost. What was it? 11 straight. And
11 in a row. Yeah. What a
Yeah.
fucking wow. In the professional baseball leagues to win 11 in a row. And you're not even the worst team in the league
Right.
either. Right. Like,
Right.
that's crazy.
And they have a guy, like they have some guys on their team, but like Craig Kimbrell is probably the best or second best closer in the league right now.
I
Yeah.
hate that stance. I don't even care that he used to be a Red Sox. I just can't stand. How do you get taught to stand like that? Or how do you, like, what is going on there?
Well, it's easy. You just come up with something unorthodox and then it works and then you just stick with it. You want to wrap up with any basketball stuff? I know that we're back 2-2 right now.
Oh my God. Did you watch the game last night?
No, it's the only one I haven't seen.
Oh, what? It doesn't even matter that Booker drops 40. He got in foul trouble, man. And like, that's what really did him in, right? It had to take him off the court. He couldn't miss a shot yesterday.
Right.
Right. And then he had to go and sit for 7 minutes or 6 minutes or so. And that's when really Milwaukee came alive there. So I'm loving this series. It's going a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought the Suns were going to dominate. And when I was joking when I said Suns in 4, but I certainly thought they were going to win in 5. I only thought Milwaukee was going to get 1. What I've seen, and I think having that break for the baseball all-star game that the NBA gave them, Giannis's knee, it doesn't even look like it's hurt anymore. Like the first game, he kind of limped and he kind of looked like he was taking it gingerly. Doesn't even look like it's affecting him now.
Right. No, exactly. And, I have watched a little bit of this. It's nice. But do you know what this series and, you know what the difference between this series and a cow is?
What's that?
You can't milk a cow for this long. Like, why do they have 5 days in between games? What is going on out here?
Yeah, I don't know why that is. You're so
the
far
only-
into the summer right now.
They're the only sport running. Like hockey was playing every other night. They had one break in the Stanley Cup, and it was like 3 days. Now, the next game isn't until Saturday night at 9:00.
Yeah.
It's not even like they're going East Coast to West Coast. Like Milwaukee would be in a different time zone altogether.
Yeah, it's only a few-hour flight. Maybe they're trying to get the ratings, the views, and all that. But I don't. Again, you're sitting here in July. As far as I know, the next NBA season is starting up at a regularly scheduled time, right?
Right. So no matter what, there's a next game. So we're looking at least like Monday or Tuesday, and then if this thing goes to Game 7, like we're still like 11 days away from an NBA champion.
Yeah.
We're going to be moved on to the NFL preseason by then.
Yeah, which is quite the transition. And great for the sport to have. I know that there's small market teams. We talked about this before. The show that they are putting on for the NBA, to have this lead up, this lull that's happening in all sports, and it's only them right now, to be on right before the NFL preseason, doing them justice. It's good. Wouldn't have been this way if they had either of the LA teams or the Nets in the final, man. I think people would have tuned in just to see some stars, but would they have watched and been glued to the seats to see what these kids are doing? No. And could you imagine if Atlanta had made the final? Like, to have the whole team is like 24 years old, man.
Yeah.
That team's not going anywhere anytime soon. So if they had made it over top of Milwaukee, this final, with the culture that they had down in Atlanta that they were creating down there, it would have been really fun. Loud. The games are loud.
I would imagine if it was the Lakers or the Nets or LA, like you're saying, I probably wouldn't even be watching it. I would just periodically check the score at whatever, if I was sitting at a bar, or if I was like just playing on my phone. But I wouldn't even bother with those games because to me there's no intrigue. But in this, there is some intrigue.
What a change of events. 5 years ago, 8 years ago, we would have glued ourselves to the TV to watch a superstar squad, like the first big 3.
Yeah.
Now we're like, man, break this shit up. Go back to just having 2 stars on a team, maybe even just 1.
If you're gonna create a super team, at least dominate people. Like, don't get beat. Like, then you look like
the
asshole.
Nets. That's embarrassing. I love seeing it because fuck Kyrie, but like the Nets. Whew.
Well, we're not even gonna go too far on this tangent, but like what I found absurd is like Game 7 rolled around, I think Durant was playing by himself.
Yeah, but he was injured. Banged out hamstring for Harden and a tweaked out ankle for Kyrie.
It's like,
So
I don't know, man. You make that much, you're with an organization, their whole job is to keep your body okay, and you tear a hamstring or like pull a hamstring. Come on, man.
well, look at poor Kawhi. Tore his ACL, so he won't be ready for the beginning of the season.
Right.
I don't know if it's true or not. I saw it somewhere tweeted that apparently the team diagnosed it as a sprain, and he went to somebody else who diagnosed it as an ACL tear and got the surgery without telling the team. So I don't know if it's true, but
Yeah.
it could be a Kawhi thing to do. And
Yeah.
that's on load management too, right? He had load man. There is no. I don't want to hear any bullshit about how the season ended too soon in the bubble to start up again, and that's why all these injuries happened. Kawhi lived off load management for the last 4 years. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm pretty much ready for the NBA to be finished. I'm happy for football to come back. I think it's going to be awesome to see college stadiums this year. And things are only going to get a little bit easier on our lives tomorrow when things kind of open back up a little bit more again. And I'm pretty pumped to start going back to the gym again because I have a hard time working at it, like out of a house. Like there's too many distractions here. Any point in time, I can just fucking click a button and talk to you two guys. So there's no
well,
way.
you know my thought process on the gym, right? The Lord made me in His image. Who the hell am I to mess with that? Right?
Hey, that is fair.
Hudson
Yeah.
is like got 4.5 or 5 inches on me, man. I'm just fighting height there.
Yeah, he's much bigger than you. I don't know, man. That's not the dude you want to go head to head.
No. Did you see the video he tagged me in of that football player running over that kid? Oh my god!
I've also
You guys know what
watched him.
happened.
The guy's been trolling you all week. He sent you a sting picture today.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. What do you so what do you think for the rest of the series? It's down to basically best 2 out of 3. You picking the Bucks or you picking the Suns?
I'm sticking with the Suns.
Yeah.
I've got excited about them since the Suns and 4 guy. I really bought into the culture at that point. Booker, he flipped the switch for me. I can call him a superstar. So I'm going Suns.
Yeah. I'm also gonna say the Suns just because no visiting team has won yet in the series.
Mhm.
I expect it to go that way. I think that it's probably just a testament to how much appreciation the fans are showing to actually be able to be back at the games because you do see a little bit of a difference. You do see a little bit of a different vibe, even though a lot of what we've seen is playoff hockey. I think that some of the teams took playoff hockey or some of the fans took playoff hockey for granted in the past.
Mhm.
And you see the crowds exploding again. Like today, there was an announcement that they might have 15,000 people at the Rogers Center. You guys heard of this?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what they need, man. That's what they need. Get up to the 50,000 because that's what it can hold, right? Let's take them the covers off the upper seats like they do on Canada Day.
Right. Yeah, that'd be cool. But
Yep.
anyway, we're probably wrapped up for the day unless you got anything else, Kayla.
No, man, I'm good.
Perfect. All right. Appreciate you
All
guys
right, man.
watching. As always, make sure you check out CoolBet. Make sure you check out Toboggan and Joe Cools and subscribe to all of our stuff. I guess it's
Yeah.
up there somewhere. And yeah, Kalen, cheers. We'll see you. Actually, we probably won't see you for a couple weeks, because you're going to be on your
Yeah,
hiatus.
I'm on vacay, so I'll be leaving town Sunday morning, and I won't be back until the following Monday evening. So I'm up north, bad reception, can't see me.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll maybe we'll find a guest, or I'll shoot it up with Chad. But
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, bro.